So for you folks out there that own the High Point C9 handguns, I just kind of wanted to go over, what's better, the 8-round magazines that come with the gun or the 10-round magazines that you can buy from either the site or that are commonly available at outdoors sporting goods stores. So 8-rounders here and 10-rounders here. There's some obvious things. Granted, the 10-rounder just looks funky in the gun. That's kind of an obvious deal. There's a lot of... High Point really likes, I guess, a lot of bulk when it comes to these base plates on these 10-rounders, and then it has the same thing on the 40 caliber and 45 caliber magazines. So it's just, I guess, their design choice. I don't know. I don't know if there's any advantage to having that much bulk on the bottom of a magazine in regards to a base plate versus doing something more like this, nice and lean and easy to do. I don't know. I don't know the reasoning behind it. It's their choice. It just does add a lot of bulk to the gun. The design already has enough bulk, and I guess maybe that's why they decided to do it with the 10-rounders, so that way they could kind of even out from between so much bulk on the top here. Maybe they add some to kind of even out the look. I don't know. But, as far as between the two, the 8 and the 10-round, the 10-rounders, you do get 2 rounds extra capacity, and for the most part, the 10-rounders work from the factory. Now, granted, there's other magazines out there that have more capacity, but I'm just talking about the standard factory-offered 10-round versus the factory 8. So the 10-rounder, for the most part, it's reliable and it seems to work good. I have noticed that 10-rounders tend to be a little bit more finicky than the 8-rounders. That's just my experience. I've experienced finicky magazines from both designs, but that's just from what I've seen, just the 10-rounders. And what I'm assuming is the 10-rounder is the same exact as the 995 10-round carbine magazine. They just got the funky base plate here to kind of cover up that extra material and whatnot. That's what I'm assuming. I'm sure it's the same magazine. But, which is kind of weird because in carbines, I've never had any issues with their 995 carbines. I've never had any issues with their 10-round magazines for those guns. Just something I never encountered. They always seem to work. So I don't know why they tend to be a little bit finicky with the pistols. Maybe it's just my luck. I don't know. And then again, I've had some 10-round pistol mags for these C9s that work just great. So, with that said, the 8-rounders seem to make more sense to me, of course, if you're going to do any type of concealed carry with the High Point. Or even if you're open carrying with a High Point, but you want extra magazines without a bunch of extra bulk. These things fit easily in a pocket. They're very thin.
Here's a good magazine.
They seem to be made well enough. The base plates are decent. Sometimes you'll get some finicky ones, but these I haven't had as many issues with. And what I'll do here is I'll take the 10-rounder out, put that to the side here, take an 8-rounder and insert it just so you, for those that are unfamiliar with the profile, there's the profile right there. I never considered the High Point C9 as a concealed carry gun, but you can do it. You can certainly do it. There's a lot of bulk there, but by using an 8-round magazine, it takes some of the bulk out of the magazine area. That's where you want to pay attention to the most, is your pistol grip area, magazine area. You want to make sure to take as much bulk as you can out. That's going to help you conceal the gun better. As far as availability, both has been, in my area, I can find both pretty easily. Whether it's the 10-round or the 8-round, no issues. As far as, does it change the way the gun handles? No, not really. The grip changes slightly when you hold the 10-round just because of, my hand's kind of big. So both is comfortable because the 8-round has this lip here, but because there's a little bit of a difference of texture on the 10-round, it does change it a little bit. I don't encounter any pinching or anything like that in the magazine. The biggest thing is going to be the reliability. I've had luck with both magazines. I've had bad luck with both magazines. But it seems like the 10-rounder is a little bit more finicky for some reason. Again, I think it's the same magazine body and follower and spring as the carbine. It's just they have a different base plate on it, different design base plate. But for some reason with handguns, just my luck just seems to be a little bit more finicky sometimes. This one runs fine. I have no issues with this one. I have no issues with the 8-rounders as well. So take that as you will. It's going to be kind of up to a personal preference. Now, if you have a 10-rounder that works really good, if you are running a C9 as your main gun, let's say you take it with you around town and you also use it as home defense, you can keep the 8-rounders in while you're out and about for everyday carry, and then at nighttime you can throw in a 10-rounder, so it gives you a couple extra rounds for those bumps in the night. That's certainly fine right there. It's certainly an option. The biggest thing, whatever magazines you get from them, make sure you test them out. Make sure they work with your self-defense ammo and choice for the gun. These are the Filky 115 grain hollow points right here. Inexpensive ammo. But make sure they work for your gun. They feed well in the magazine. There's no issues. You want to confirm reliability with anything. It doesn't matter what firearm you have. You want to confirm reliability. But you just want to make sure it works good. And don't be afraid to stock up. I only have 3 magazines right now. I'm thinking about getting some more because they are available in my area. I figure, why not? I might pick up a few more at some point here for this thing. But don't hesitate to get a decent supply of these magazines along with ammo. Just so that way if you have one magazine that decides to break or just something goes wrong, you can toss that to the side, list it as a range-only mag, whatever you want to do, and then keep your good magazines for the serious type work. The one thing that I like with these factory options right here is they're both, as far as I know, with a few exemptions, they're both legal in most restrictive states. I think there are some restrictive states where they may not be legal in, or some areas, but for the most part across the U.S., if you find yourself in a restrictive state that still allows high points, you can run either the 10-round or the 8-round, no problem. As far as compatibility, they're not really compatible with the carbine, but the carbine mags are compatible. So the 995 carbine, you can take those mags and put them into the C9 and it'll work. Reliability can be a little finicky. From what I've seen, I haven't tried it myself. I have no desire to put a larger capacity magazine other than the 10-rounders in this thing. That's just me. If I wanted larger capacity magazines or a gun to shoot that has a larger capacity, I have plenty of other options in my inventory that I can go to. This is more just kind of a fun gun for me. Just a basic single stack 9 that I can go out and plink with and all that good stuff, do videos with. Takedown, the 8-rounder is going to be definitely easier than the 10-rounder, at least in my experience, because here's your takedown tabs on the 10-rounder right here. And then the takedown tabs right here. You kind of pry this thing out. It's a little bit simpler for the 8-rounders. Excuse me, for the 8-rounders. So in any case, the cool thing is with the 10-rounders, it reminds me of the DeWalt drills. I'm tempted to paint this orange. I know some people have done that. Paint it orange, make it look, kind of looks like a battery on a DeWalt drill. So in any case, just wanted to go over, I think overall, with my experience, again, I seem to have more luck with the 8-rounders. They just seem to work a little bit better. As far as looks go, they look better in the gun. Again, the 10-rounder, here I'll throw the 10-rounder back in. The 10-rounder, it fits fine, but it just looks kind of funky. I don't know. Still works fine, but it just looks like a big old drill battery. It is what it is. As far as magazine changes and malfunction clearance drills, I will say one thing, the 10-rounder works better as far as ripping the mags out and doing stuff like that because there's so much more surface area here to grab onto. So if you get a really bad malfunction where you got a couple rounds jammed up in here, it's easy to wrap your fingers around this thing and suck it out. So that is one thing about these magazines, that they're just easier to manipulate, I guess. So take that as you will. And then again, it just depends on the high point that you have. There's some high points that hardly ever malfunction, and there's some that seem to malfunction every magazine. Usually, that's the fault of the magazine, but sometimes you just get a bad gun. So anyway, let me know what you folks think. And you could chime in with, I don't really have like the Red Ball mags or anything like that, or any of the fancy. I think Pro Mag makes them as well, like a 15 rounder for the C9. I haven't really messed with those. If you guys have, feel free to put it in the comment section and let us know how it worked out. From what I understand, it's kind of finicky with those. I think the Red Balls actually work pretty good, but I don't know about the Pro Mags. I know Pro Mags kind of got a reputation, so let us all know how it's been working for you. Again, I haven't really messed with them, and I don't have too much of a desire, but if everybody starts raving that they're the best mags ever, maybe I'll grab one and try it, see what happens. All right, thanks a lot for watching. As always, stay safe.